Hello everyone, I'm Krasi and I have the pleasure to have Joe Greenland, the medicine man. And today I invited Joe to talk about the free will. I made previously astrological video, actually two on my channel on the free will against destiny, and you can find them on my channel. But I invited Joe Greenland, who is exactly the right man to ask about the free will and how you see this, Joe, through your eyes of shaman, of a medicine man. So please start. Tell us about this.
Okay, free will is quite a big topic.
Yeah.
We come here to explore our humanness. We come here to grow and learn in lots of cultures, and we seek answers. People always come to me and they always ask if somehow I can change or help something to come through for them. And I always tell them it's choice. It's learning different techniques, learning what's inside you, what you need to see, what you need to learn. Sometimes even inviting new practices just to see if it's going to do something good. One of the things I tell people, if you're learning something new, give it at least a year. In a year's time, if what you're doing doesn't really feel good or it's not something you really feel you want, you can always ask the universe to take it back and give you back what is from your past. Because the universe never really takes anything. If there's something there you feel that you want to keep for the rest of your life, memories, different ways of meditating or anything, the universe doesn't force nothing. They always try to bless you. They always try to encourage you, and they will use your psychic abilities. They will use people or intuition. They will bring different things into your life to open doorways, but they'll never push you and say, this is what you got to do. So when people come to me and they're asking things, I always first thing ask their oversoul, because I need to know it's for their highest good, what I am doing. And then when I do it, I need them to recognize that I'm just going to share a whole bunch of information, and then they're going to decide how they want to take that or where they want to go with it. And I encourage them to come to our meditations. I encourage them to do a lot of things, but always on the understanding it's their choice. When you're born, it is your choice. When you get married, when you move in countries or learn anything, it's choice.
Choice. So we are given two paths and we can choose from or how far, what is the extent of our free will, how far we can go with the free will, because we come with certain encoded um, events or features in the chart, in the horoscope. How far we can go, Joe, to change this? Or
The thing is, as you're going along, when you're finding right information, you're finding all kinds of different techniques, and you're trying all sorts of different things to benefit or bring more things into your life or answers to be helping people. Some of the things you discover, people are waking up to past lives where in other lifetimes things went on. Sometimes it died really terribly, so they have fears of water, they have fears of caves, or they have fears, even cultures and beliefs. And it's something that's inside the cells that you're born in. And this sort of is there to challenge you, to force you to grow, to go into that fear, find why are you afraid? What is this reoccurrence of why you're scared of water or something, to the point where it releases inside you. Because when you find that answer, and when you find that something inside you releases, so you don't carry that fear anymore. And the biggest challenge is learning to face fears. Why did you bring it into your life? Why are you attracting people? Why all these different kinds of things? Because they're all purposes, tools. When I was growing up throughout my life, like even going to sweat lodges with Cree Indians, because I didn't speak Cree and stuff, and I would go with these elders, and I started doing sweats with them, and they're singing and chanting in a strange language that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
While I was in there, all these things would go on, spirit stuff would come in, and it'd be dark, and they're just hitting these drums and they're just singing. And I was just learning this way. And at first, it brought really lots of fear, because when I came out of my first sweat lodge, I remember I was like, wow, what happened? Because I was sitting in the darkness with all these strange people, and they were talking and doing things in a language I didn't understand. But there was something really amazing. There was an energy, there was a curiosity. And I'm like, I want to explore this a little further. I want to see what this is going to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I started hanging out with certain elders that did sweats, who did teachings, who wanted to teach me some of their ways so I can make use of it. So the more I started going in this, the more I started discovering. And in the Cree, they say Muscapios. And I told the elder I'll be Muscapios. Muscapios is like the one who serves everybody. The Crees, they say Jesus was Muscapios. Buddha was Muscapios, because they did everything to help people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose to be that with these elders. And I would go to these sweat lodges and different ceremonies they bring me to. And we would always light the smudge and call in the spirits and all this stuff. And they would pray in Cree and use the pipe and all the other things. The spirits would always come, and I would always get information. And it really opened me up. It brought something, and I wanted more. And this is something I really always desired in my life. And it was a choice in my life where I wanted to go. Then I met an old medicine man, and he told me the universe is here. And he says, on this side of you is your path. If you want to drink, if you want this and that, it's all right here. And he says, this other side is the pipe and all these things that you carry inside you. And he says, they're saying you have to choose. You're right here in the middle, and your choice is going to take you this path here, or this choice is going to take you this path. That night after I left the ceremony talking to the medicine man, I told the universe, help me to make the changes to become the thing that I desire to be, and I want to work with the pipes and medicine. So my whole life changed. And for 30 years, this is the way I have been living my life. I go to ceremonies, I pray, I fast. And this is something that's inside me that I live and breathe every day. So this was my choice that got me for 30 years on this path. Everybody has something different. Buddha says there's 1,000 ways to nirvana. Try 500. If that does not work, try 501, and then finally you might understand how all of it fits together. It's like finding pieces of a puzzle, and they're scattered everywhere. Eventually, when you put them all together, you can see all those pieces, why they're all linked and why they make that puzzle. Spirituality, life, all these things, they all have little hidden answers. It's like you do astrology, and you can see things that other people can't, that are just learning astrology. People don't understand the ascendant or the rising sign or the moon and how these influence life, or when a planet goes retrograde and there's things in there that trigger different things in a person, to see what their choice is going to be. Because some planets, they push at you and they make things a little difficult, challenging. It's like trying to climb a mountain, and you're not sure if your next handhold is going to be there or which way you're going to have to go to get up the mountain. But everything is there. Seeing how you're going to use your mind, because the whole thing is discovering how your mind works. Why are you afraid? What is it there that you're healing from other lifetimes? So making the choice inside yourself to open up a big path and allow really lots of curious things in front of you to explore, and know some of these things you will learn the information, and it's going to lead you to something else. Eventually, it's going to open to something really big if it's truly what's inside you, and you're going to find the joy and the happiness. So
You
free
often, excuse me, I thought you finished. Sorry, Joe. Continue, yes.
The free will is my grandfather, when I was growing up and he was teaching me, he says, I don't want to make you something. He says, I want you to learn. I want you to think. Said, go out there, ask questions, go out there and read. He says, there's no such thing as stupid or any. What God creates, everything is perfect. People can't see it that way because in their mind, they overthink. They look at it in a way that doesn't show any truth. So the more peace we have inside in our free will to choose, we keep searching. And one of the biggest things I found in my life is to start searching for the positive. This world has programmed us to constantly search for the fear. So every time we go into spiritual or different kinds of sects of belief, Christianity, anything, the first thing we're going to do is look for the negative instead of going, well, what's all the positive in it? If I go to Zoroaster beliefs, need to look at the positive. If I go into Buddhism, I need to look at the positive.
Yeah.
In Buddhism, I found when I was going to the temple in Edmonton, it was run by a Lama from Tibet. His name was Kusho. And he was this Tibetan Lama teaching meditations. And I was there. And he says in the Tibetan beliefs, they have 10,000 hells and they have many, many different gods and things. And so you can reverse in karma, you can go into these lower places. If you haven't learned from other lifetimes in this lifetime, you might go back in there to experience and sort of help you to evolve so you can move past it. But they also have many gods that enlighten and they work to bring you into these higher planes. And so we would have people from Christianity that would come to Buddhism because they're scared of in the Bible, there's Lucifer and the devil
Yeah.
and whatever. And I'm like, but there's only a few there. In Buddhism, you got 10,000 different hells. You got millions of gods and spirits and demons. So when you look at the Bible, it's not that scary.
Mm.
And there's other cultures. I learned the same thing from other people. And I was like, you get tired of being afraid. You get tired of all this. And why did God create this? Why does the sun come up every morning? Why do you choose to wake up? Why do you choose to go through a heavy day? Why do you choose to attract more loving people and good things into your life? There's something in it. And that's free will. The first thing in the morning when your eyes open, that's the gift from God. Because you're going to go through the whole day today and you're going to see and discover things. Some will be positive, some will be negative. And at the end of the day, just be thankful. Then the next day you get up again. Here's your gift. Your eyes are open. You explore light. And the universe is all about everything evolving. God made everything forever and ever and ever. The creators, planets, worlds, there's energy, there's higher and lower dimensions.
But Joe, there is this collective universe that we live in. We are collective creatures. Like now, me and you, we are creating some form of collective event. When I make a decision, possibly I will influence you or I will influence others. So we are very much tied with each other. We descend maybe in groups, and then my decision will influence you. Your decision will influence me or other people. So how is this happening? Because this is the interesting thing, that we are collective creatures. We live in collective universe.
Working together, evolving what we're doing. It's like you can come up with an idea, and me, you, and Cindy, we can all look at that and we could see from our different points of view where we're going to start and where we're going to try to take it and grow. And as we add people in there, the energy will build. We will find something that flows. People that don't fit into that energy will go some other place where they will fit in because it's their choice.
Yeah.
And people who are trying to do things, open different practices, creating different places to connect. even through astrology, there's so much astrology out there, and finding ones you want to participate in, and it's making that choice, because somewhere along the way, me and your belief systems is sort of vibrate. We sort of see and understand. We're trying to find something to open up and present to the world, and we're trying to offer it. People will listen to it, and through free will, they will feel and know inside of it is a good thing or not. Some of them will just put their feet in and step in. It's like we're all sitting in this big pool of water, and every now and then somebody will put their foot and they go, no, this is not for me. Other people will jump in and go, woohoo, I'm going to stay here and have fun. So those free will choices, everybody that holds an energy, there's something that's inside us that connects everybody to the universe, whether they believe in it or not, whether they're atheists, whether they're Christian, or just into astrology, astronomy, science, whatever. They have something inside them that they know from the time they're born, and they will accept different things on that way they feel inside. So people will connect to me and you, and there'll be an energy inside them that makes them feel very good and trusting. Or they'll go, I don't understand this, and they'll move in a different direction. There's many, many teachers. There's different layers and levels of growth on the planet. And in the native language, we say a lot of people are sleepers. They choose to be asleep because their soul evolution wants to be at that place. There's other people that are just waking up, and there's different levels. In the States, they created a school, Rudolf Steiner School, the School of the Seven Rays, or England, I can't remember.
Yeah.
School.
I know the school, yeah.
Yeah, and it teaches that on the base chakra, people in the red energy, in the seven rays, people like me and you who have a lot of knowledge sit with somebody in the red ray, they will never understand us. They will just get angry over and over at us, even we give them information. And in Rudolf Steiner's school is you take the person in the red level and you connect them to the next one above that, or somewhere in between there, and they will connect, and that person will move up. And with the chakras, they keep moving up. If you put the person with the right teacher, they will move very fast. They will feel very safe, and they will open up. They can hold the energy and move into the next stage. And this is where free will is really important with astrology, with spirituality, with meditation, with anything. When a person feels uncomfortable, is they need to give themselves permission to go off in a different direction, to find what it is that's going to help them to release the fear and step up to the next stage. And there's trying to open those doors to people is very important.
But Joe, I have two things in mind. In exactly in relation to what you just said. In the ancient astrology, for example, you have exact degrees which say this person will become astrologer, or this person will become architect, or this person will become pharmacist, everything. And this is encoded in the chart. This is one thing. And then another thing, just to tell you, in India, I heard of it and I never saw this, but these palm tree records, when you go to a temple and then you see your destiny written on a palm tree, or I think it was banana leaf, on a banana leaf. And then there is this monk inside in this temple who would read your destiny, who would read it, and then he would be able to even name, like he would name your partner, he would name your mother, he would name your profession, just everything. And when I hear this, and when I know that in astrology you can really see the profession, you can see at what age the person will get married, you can see at what age the person will have his first job, all these details you really see. This is why I wonder how far, apart from the spiritual awakening and that you just said, of course, but how far we can go with the free will when we know these facts.
With free will, the more you evolve spiritually, many people now, they know about remote viewing. This is what prophets and seers and others, they see things into the future. In the free will, if you have the ability to remote view in that, the universe will show you things ahead of you. They will give you answers to things on your path and journey. In my life, many times they showed me things way ahead. And years later, I would come across and I'm like, wow, you showed me this. And it was a choice and a desire in myself to follow this path. And these things came true. And that is part of the free will too, is somewhere saying, well, I'm done with this and I put it aside and go down a different path. But inside me, following the native spirituality and everything I am doing is something that's always been with me since I was very small. When I was a little boy, my granddad would be able to see in the future and tell me things. And there were times where I had experiences where I saw stuff, and then years later in my life, they came true. So there's an energy, there's something we all get glimpses in. One of the ways is when you have deja vu, it is showing you you can glimpse little things in your in front of you in your future. One friend of mine, he used to always ask me about these things, and I says, what if when you were born, your life was already here, and as you're evolving and growing, you're attracting. As you're attracting, it's allowing you to bring these things in. Like in astrology, you can look and see this. And it's like this computer that you put there. So when you're born, say you came here to live in 90 years, so this thing is here 90 years from the day you're born, and it has all this information. And every day when you step into the day, it gives you a little bit of that information. Or it presents you a page or a book out of this 90 years of your life experience. So tomorrow when you wake up, it's like, oh, I see and I know this is my experience today. That is free will. Some people choose, they push it away. They say,
Yeah.
oh, I don't believe in that. Oh, I don't believe in deja vu. I don't believe in psychics and spiritual. I don't believe somebody can see into the future. I'm like, if you look on YouTube and remote viewing, you'll see all these people that are part of different things who remote view and say they work for the governments and how the governments do this so they can see what goes on in the future. It's all there. If it's inside you and this is part of your journey and you really desire it, the universe will eventually show you things to show you things in your future. So you can see in an astrology chart that's going to happen in a couple of years. So you talk to the universe and they show you in the energy fields. One day you get there and it all happens. And you could say no, because I know many people go to astrologers, they go to psychics, they go to people, they get all these answers, and then they push it all away and they change it because it's their free will to say this is not true, I don't believe in it. So they push it all away and it never happens because they change everything.
So you may desire also to change that event. You can postpone, or you can, with when addressing the universe, then you can change events that you don't like to happen. Right?
Yeah, there's lots of people that do that. They put up energy walls, they block things. They keep asking for something, but then they block it and they just, here it is, instead of accepting and allowing it in, they just keep going this other path. And then they say, see, it's not real, it doesn't happen. And they keep going to different people. Some people, when they go to a psychic or astrologer, don't realize the timeline. So they think it's tomorrow. And if it doesn't happen tomorrow, they go, I don't believe that. They lied to me. And it's not that they lied. Everything has a timeline. Everybody has a test to what is their free will. I always say, I am here to take my soul to the highest I can take it on this planet. When I started my relationship with Cindy, I told her, I says, I will help you. I will be in your life. I will do everything I can to help you with knowledge. But you're the one who's going to take your soul to that highest. So when you leave this planet, you have fulfilled everything you came here. That is free will. I'm not going to make you a medicine woman. I'm not going to make you this or that. In all the learning, you're going to become something. And when you're ready to leave this planet, you're going to look at it and you're going to be so thankful for all of your choices, because that's your free will and you chose to have me in your life, and I will watch you grow and be a part of that. So I don't try to force her to do a lot of things. If the universe is saying things, I will bring her back to it a few times. And if she doesn't, then I just leave it. Sometimes she will go back and, oh yeah, Joey told me. And then she's like, I should have listened to you longer.
Yeah.
That's free will. I can't make you do something. And if you're not ready, then it's okay to put it on the shelf for a little while. Then maybe go back and take everything on the shelf and look at what you put away here and there. Sometimes in our dreams, we're shown really lots of stuff and we don't understand because it's in the future. We get afraid. And sometimes we throw our dreams away. We throw all these things we desire, all these things we've created. We push it away and we become like bulls and we go down this road and we just only focus on something because we're so angry. And sometimes we need to stop and say, is there something there that I might have went past that's sitting there? Can these kinds of things come back into my life? The stuff I put on the shelves I was maybe afraid of, or I didn't understand what it was about. Can I bring it back now and look at it? And that's giving yourself that freedom to explore and become bigger.
Oh, but in terms of help, how can we be really practical for people really to because you mentioned fears many times also last time when we spoke. It's interesting, I very much agree. You mentioned fears are the biggest blockage to 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 express to reach this stage of using your free will. Or but how can we really be useful, like to give advices, Joe, like you're a medicine man, you how to be practical to really find the right path, first in terms of making the right choices when knowing that we have the free will, and secondly, how to help avoiding bad events that we know that may come, like if somebody would predict a bad event will take place, how to help this, how to overcome, how to postpone or totally to overcome bad event through the free will that we have.
One of the biggest things, even when I was a young boy, I was very impatient. My granddad used to always tell me that certain things would come through, but on this planet, we believe everything has to be now and today. Sometimes if we are patient and we ask the creator or the universe or oversoul, whatever you want to call, or your angels or your guides, is there something I can learn in this? And what somebody may be seeing or getting might be a little different. And if the universe shows you, sometimes everything changes. And it's sometimes being patient and allowing.
Excuse me.
And it's really important to ask for the answer, because people sometimes forget that the universe is so intelligent. When you look into the skies and you see millions of stars and you go, wow, that could be a planet with a whole nother evolution there. There's galaxies. If the universe can create and sustain all these lives and all these amazing, wonderful things and keep everything in harmony and love and flowing, sometimes we got to recognize inside ourselves we need to just ask. And sometimes
Ask.
it's as simple as that. And little children, they'll do that. They'll get stuck in a thing and they'll get frustrated and confused. And then at a certain point, they will ask. And they'll start asking till they get an answer that makes them feel good and it changes things. And sometimes it's just that, just being patient and knowing that if you're meant to be in the future, you're going to be there. One of the things is when our bodies were created and our mothers were nourishing us and we're developing inside, every cell was programmed for this life to a certain point, and some people are going to go beyond that point. And knowing it's inside you, so asking the universe, well, what is it I need to learn, or where is it I need to go, or who is my teacher, or is there a book there? I used to always ask for books, and strange people would come up to me. I'd be walking along, and some guy's walking along, and he's waving a book and says, "Hey, here, this is yours. You're supposed to read it." And I'm standing there, I'm like,
Oh.
"Ooh." And I got this book, and I'm like, and I had stacks of books sometimes, and I'd ask the universe, "Well, I want my answer. I want." And then one day I'd finally sit down and start reading the books, and I go, "Oh my God, I should have read this as soon as I got it. Here I've been asking the universe for 3 months, and I had all the answers in this book." So the universe has many wondrous ways to do things, and truly being patient, because in a year's time, your whole life could be transformed beyond anything you can think and believe today. The happiness, the joy, the freedom. There's so many things there. When we see different things, talking to the Earth Mother in the natives, we always say, talk to the Earth Mother. She knows what's going to go on in a year's time, 10 years' time. She knows where the earthquakes are. She knows everything. And she loves all the humans because they're all on here, and she wants us all to learn and grow. So she will show us things. She will help us to see and know stuff. So sometimes asking her different things and not creating fear in your mind. If you're shown something, maybe there's a purpose and reason in it. People always hear about Long Vancouver in Canada. Here we always hear that in the future there's going to be a big earthquake in Vancouver. Don't be there. And I always tell people, if you ever get that vision and you're shown something like that, don't go there and live there then. If you're not meant to be there, go some other place. Go to Alberta and live in Alberta, some other place where you feel you're going to be safe. But sometimes these are just forewarnings. So being patient with the universe and asking for the answers is the most beautiful thing each human being can do for themselves.
Yes, this is this is the way I believe. It sounds really wonderful, and I didn't realize this before. Since you taught me to ask my guardian angel for help, to ask the Mother Earth, this helps. I confirm, definitely, in many ways. This really helps in many ways.
And the grounding, because the energy is all over. We're one being on a planet with 7 billion people. Well, 7 billion people's energy is moving up and down and stuff going on the earth. And some of us are really sensitive to that. So sometimes we need to ask the Earth Mother to ground and put a shield and help us to be calm in this energy that's moving around, and try to find that peace inside ourselves. And this is part of that free will, is asking and giving permission. If it doesn't really vibrate with you, then let it go and find some other way to do it. But explore things. It's like diving really deep into the ocean as far as you can, holding your breath, not knowing. But when you get to that place, you just know there's a transformation, and you just feel so much at peace. And then it's easier to move forwards. As you're moving forwards, there'll be other challenges coming in. And the brain right away wants to create all kinds of stories. It's like, it's okay for the brain to be quiet and just move ahead. And when you're in the energy to ground and start feeling and knowing where and how all of this, it's like going to different kinds of music concerts. If you go to a rock and roll one, it's sometimes a good memory. But if you go into some others like punk rock, it may not really be good. Or
Yeah.
going to the orchestra and sitting, like some people can't sit in orchestra music. So everybody is different how they are affected. And because everything in your area, if you're in an area for 150-mile radius around you, there's energies in that support you. There's trees, life force, there's rocks, there's streams that flow, there's different kinds of energy and magnetics, and we get drawn to different areas that make us feel good. So trusting that free will, that you're always going to find those answers, and you're always going to come out the other side in a good way.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Joe. This is really, really amazing. I want to say to people who watch us that you have also your own channel with very interesting videos on, you teach people exactly how to clean the environment around themselves in order to have really better connection with the overlords, how the way you said it. And I will also put link to your website, because you do very, very resultful clearings, and I experienced this with Joe, and it helped me so much. This clearing was something that is really, really a must, because it helps in many different ways. One of them is you feel better immediately. um, in many ways. You feel it gradually after the clearing. So I really advise this also. All these people can find on your website, and I will put link to your channel where you're having also very interesting videos. So thank you so much, Joe, and I'm sure we can talk, if you like, another time on different topics about, again, spiritual topics. Thank you for your wisdom.
No, you're welcome, and I definitely want to do more videos with you, and I
Pleasure.
appreciate everything you're doing. And for people out there that watch you, I just hope they also get the astrology readings, because I believe you do a lot of good for people. And I'll put it, I always try to share your stuff on my Facebook wall and things
Thank you,
for
Joe.
other
Thank
people
you, Joe. I
to
know. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this was really great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.